welcome to KCC Ag-hort Technology Program. My name is Katelynn Ohrt, and I'm the Director of Horticulture and Agriculture Programs here at KCC. So today, I've invited you to my basic soils class, where I have students in the lab working on two different soils labs at the beginning of the semester here. So there's a couple things that we try to focus on at the beginning of the semester, and that is kind of soil basics. So I thought you would be interested in joining us to learn some basics of soil and how it might help you at home. The first thing that students are looking at is the texture of a soil. So we're determining the amount of sand, silt, and clay within any given soil sample. So you see I've got set out here some different soil samples for students to be testing. I've got Gracie over here who's filling a container, and she's going to talk a little bit about bulk density and porosity in a bit. I've got another soil sample here that's actually native to Kankakee County. So the neat thing is that we're testing soils from many different states as well as in our own backyard. So texture is number one. We also take a look at soil structure. So soil structure is how that soil is actually sticking together or aggregating, so how it sticks together. And that's another important aspect to, when you think about clay. Clay is a soil that compacts, so it really restricts that pore space. And for a gardener at home, if I have a clay soil, I'm going to need to add some amendments so I don't have that compaction, or that compaction would then be causing some puddling, and that's not good for plant growth. So we need to add an amendment. Maybe it's some sand that we add in there to differentiate our soil structure. Students are also talking about the water within the soil. So soil water, there's a couple different types of soil water. When you see some graduated cylinders here, we're filling those so we can measure the field capacity of a soil. And technically, field capacity water should make it through the soil and kind of out of the way within 48 hours. So we're taking a look at field capacity water. We're also taking a look at residual water, and that's the water that's held really tightly to the soil. And then from those, we'll be able to tell what our plant available water is. And plant available water is extremely important for every gardener and farmer, because they're growing crops. So if you're growing a crop at home, you definitely need to know what your plant available water is and make sure that you have plant available water. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Gracie here, and she's going to talk a little bit more about bulk density and porosity.
Hi, I'm Gracie Wagner. I'm from Milford, Illinois. I'm filling my dish here to measure bulk density at the scales over there. We use bulk density to measure the amount of solid particles within the soil, within a given amount of soil. And we can use that to also measure porosity within the soil.
Good. So with your porosity, what's in those pore spaces within the soil?
There can be air or water in the pores of the soil.
Absolutely. So roughly 50% of your soil is made up of minerals, so things like clay, sand, silt, and organic matter. So about 50% there. And then the other 50% is going to be the pore space, which is very important for gas exchanges and then water as well. And don't forget about your nutrients too. All right, next up, I'm going to pass it to Gracie here, and she'll talk a little bit about finding texture.
Hi, I'm Gracie Schleich, and I'm from Sonora, and I'm going to talk about how to find soil texture. And so for this, you take a mason jar and you put your soil sample in it, and then you fill it up with water up to within an inch of the top. And then you put the lid on and shake it until it's completely mixed up. And then after that, you let it sit for at least 2 days, and when it's done, it'll look like this, and all the soil is separated out into different layers.
Good. So with Gracie's sample kit that's been sitting for a couple days, again, this is something that you could do at home. It's a mason jar that we're using. You could go outside, collect your own soil sample, roughly fill it up halfway or so, and then add water. Shake it so you break up any really big clumps in that soil, and then let it settle. And when it settles, what you're looking at here is this top piece, that's the water, and you can see there's some debris in there. There might be sticks or some grass. And then what we want to see down here is hopefully 3 distinct layers: sand, silt, and clay. And then to finish up this lab, what Gracie's going to do is take a ruler. She's going to set it alongside here, and she's going to measure those 3 layers. So she's going to measure the total of the 3 layers, and then she's going to measure each individual layer. And from that, she'll take those percentages that she figures, and she'll come to our soil texture triangle. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Okay, so this is the soil texture triangle, and each side represents a texture, so clay, silt, or sand, and you can use the percentages of each soil sample to determine what texture it is.
There you go. Perfect. So you can find this on the internet as well. So the soil texture triangle, you're going to take your percentages. So she finds it's 70% sand. She's going to come to the soil texture triangle and find 70% sand, and eventually come up with her soil texture. So again, texture is going to be the measurement of sand, silt, and clay within a given soil sample. So that wraps up the mechanical method of finding the soil texture and how it relates to our soil texture triangle. So again, something you could do at home to learn your own soil texture. Each of the sand, silt, and clay have their own benefits, but if you find that you need to amend your soil, you can most definitely go to the store and purchase different amendments, or maybe it's manure that you can find somewhere local that you add to your soil. It's very important that you test your soil before you plant anything. So start off, kind of with a fresh garden, or even if it's a potted plant in your home. Make sure that you test that soil so you understand what's in it, and if you need to make any changes before you plant any seeds or any plugs. To wrap up here, again, 2 different labs happening. We've got soil texture, we're looking at sand, silt, and clay. We're also looking at soil structure, so whether it's columnar, clayey, granular. We're also looking at the bulk density, which was the amount of solids in a soil in a given space. And then we're also looking at the porosity, so the amount of pore space within a given sample. So, multiple different soil samples here the students are working with to figure out the different soil textures, soil structures, bulk density, field capacity water, residual water, and plant available water. If you're interested in learning more, you can check out our website, which has Ag-hort technology information on it. There's 4 different pathways to an associate's degree, and then there's multiple different certificates if you're interested in a couple classes and ending up with a credential. There's also a transferable degree as well if you're interested in attending a university after starting here at KCC. So check us out. We're also on Facebook, KCC Ag-hort Technology Program, and a shout out to the KCC Horticulture Club too. So thanks so much for joining us. I hope you learned a thing or two about soil.